He grins at me. You'll like that, won't you? I nod because he wants me to. I nod because I will. She will get his love, and I will hold her down to take it all, because then there will be none for me. I cannot save myself, and I do not want to save her. 32. The Alice before me, her parents were named Bob and Megan. They cried so much at her funeral, at her coming home, that Ray says it's a wonder they lived long enough to ever see her come home at all. These are the kind of stories Ray tells. His stories are always true, which doesn't make them stories at all. 33. In the morning, Ray makes me get up when he does, puts me in the shower and hums as he lathers soap and rubs his hands across me. I sit naked and cold on the bed while he opens the safe he keeps in his room, all his paychecks cashed and stored in fireproof, destruction-proof box, with a combination only he knows. He pays for everything in cash, no checks or credit cards, like his mother always used, spending money she didn't have and then blaming him when everything got taken away. He counts the money once, twice, numbers falling from his lips like a song, and he's humming again when he's done. We'll be able to go somewhere nice, he says. Maybe someplace with a pool. I'll watch Annabelle swim. A little blue suit with yellow trim for her, and you'll dry her off with a towel, then wrap her up and bring her to me. I will do that. We'll unroll her from the towel and make it so she's wearing only her shriveled, clammy skin, and leave her to Ray. I will steal her food to keep her tiny, to keep him happy. I will put her on his knee at night and let her hear his bedtime stories. We'll need sunscreen, I say, so she doesn't burn. He nods, pleased, and then picks out what I must wear. Not my black pants that sag around my waist and hips, that droop over my feet, that I wear every day. Not my gray t-shirt, his until he got tomato sauce on the hem, tiny holes on the sleeves from my fingers picking at the fabric while the day passes. I have to wear jeans, dark and stiff and too small, cutting into my waist and leaving my ankles bare. My shirt is pink, pale, like the first blush of hurt skin. Just a little blow to let you know you are here, that you are not leaving, that you must open your eyes and see. Pink like Ray makes me. I know that, and he does too, because he smiles big and fond and rubs the bruises on my chest, saying, Remember. Remember how you used to be? I remember. After I am dressed, he tells me what I will do. I will get to the park earlier than before. Will miss my soap opera to be there on time. I will watch Lucy. I will wait for Jake. Talk to him. And Ray narrows his eyes then, mouth biting off the word talk, as his hands shake me back and forth. You do know what that means, right? He says, and I nod. I know. You get the boy to come tomorrow, he says. Then everything can happen. Tomorrow morning we'll pack up, spend the day together, and then I'll pick up Annabelle and come get you. Leave a present for the boy. He means it, really means it, I think. What will we take with us? He looks at me, and then a slow grin breaks across his face. His gums are red like meat. Everything, he says, and walks into his room, comes back with a folded, printed pages. Newspaper clipping in my hand, tiny girl with a bow in her hair, grinning toothlessly. Vanessa Judith, miracle baby, born 6 months ago to Helen and Glenn. One daughter gone long ago, and now a new one. Every day I think of what I lost, Helen says, and every day I'm glad God decided to give me a second chance. We can't go back. We can't forget, Glenn says. But we want to live each day as it comes, in memory of what we lost and in honor of what we have. Isn't that sweet, Ray says, and I stare at the baby, so tiny, so new. Hey, he says, grabbing my chin, forcing my eyes to meet his. Mess this up and we'll drive to 623 Daisy Lane and I'll burn everything. Little girl that replaced you, Mommy, Daddy, all gone. He cups my jaw in his hands, Mommy and Daddy, and I'll hear them screaming and let you hear it too. Then I'll leave you there, roll you in their ashes and put matches in your hands, and when the police come, they'll know you were bad and run away and came back to punish them for forgetting you. After all, you sent those angry letters home. They gave them to the police and hope you never come back. Letters? I never. Ray grins at me. God monster, ruler of my world. When I don't say anything, he kisses my forehead. Be good today. Be very, very good. He is whistling when he leaves for work. I stare at the picture of the baby for a long, long time, and then put it back in Ray's room, face up on his dresser, next to his hairbrush and picture of his mother. Her hair was dark, too. 34. Once upon a time there was a little girl. Now there is a new one. There is always a new one. 35. Morning. My morning. I lie on the sofa and watch TV. After a while, I get up and get the piece of paper I brought home for Ray out of the trash, turning it over to the clean side. I find a pen in the kitchen, next to where he keeps the shopping list. Same things on it every week, and I sit down at the table. Dear Vanessa Judith, you look pretty in the paper. Shiny new, not broken. Be better than I was, am. I didn't write the letters that came. I never wrote any letters but this one. Don't ever listen to anyone who asks if you want to know where I am. I stop and put the paper in my pocket. It's a stupid letter and I can't find the words to say what I want. Feeling happy she's here and safe. Angry she is so pretty and new and not smeared like me. And babies can't read anyway. Stupid. In the park I crumple it inside my fist, squeezing tight and drop it into the trash can. You were here yesterday, weren't you? Someone asks. Not Jake, not a boy, but a woman. And I turn to see the tired-looking cop staring at my hand, still crushed into a fist, red from where I squeezed the paper like I could force the words out and let them float up into the sky. Ray doesn't like cops. Once one came to the door to ask if we'd seen a guy who'd stolen 2 cars, and then asked me if I was sick because he said I looked pale, and Ray said I had the flu, and did the officer have a card. He would call if he heard anything, and then sat watching the door for 2 hours after the cop left. Knife in his hand with my throat right under it, waiting. I don't like cops either. I thought you were homeless yesterday, the cop says. The clothes and everything? But then how do I know how kids dress now? Where do you go to school? She squints at me. What happened to your throat? Across from me, a little boy kicks another boy in the leg. Fight, I say. My brother. He do that a lot? I shake my head no. She's still looking at me. You hungry? I shake my head no again, but she pulls out a candy bar, and my hands are reaching for it even as she says, I bought this earlier, but it melted some, and I hate melted. Oh, you are hungry. I do not look at her as I swallow, breaking the candy apart with my teeth, breaking it as fast as I can to get it inside me. When's the last time you ate? She asks. Lunch. That is the right answer, and I did eat yogurt for the first 5 minutes of my soap. Storm waiting to see if her baby was all right, or if it was going to be born with a rare disease that only the doctor she used to love could cure. Then I had to run for the bus, heart thumping, thumping, thumping in my chest. I'm Barbara, the cop says, holding out her hand, and I think I pause too long before I take it. Her skin is very warm. Cold hands you got there, she says, and pulls something out of her pocket. A card, which she hands me. Safe Harbor, it says. It's a special place, she says, for teenagers who might need a safe place. There are no safe places, but I nod and say thank you, like Ray did when he got the card from the police officer, and put it in my pocket like I will keep it. I have to go now, Barbara says, and touches my arm. I try not to flinch, but no one other than Ray and the waxer who rips off my flesh and sees my parted legs as money touches me, and I don't like it. I don't like hands on me. I have Ray's, and they are so heavy I feel them all the time. Barbara nods like I have told her a secret and walks off. I wait until she is all the way over in the trees, near the swings where I am supposed to be, and then I turn around and leave. On the bus I try to think of how to tell Ray what has happened. How can I say it so he will not think I have taken Annabelle away from him, and then think about what he has said this morning and decide to do it? There is no way I can say cop without him getting angry. I take the card out of my pocket and tear it into tiny pieces that I sprinkle into the bag of the old woman sitting with me, jealously clutching her shopping bags like I want to steal her oranges and grapes. I do, but I won't. When I get home, Ray is there sitting on the sofa, waiting, and as soon as I see him, I open my mouth and say, she's sick, so we can't get her tomorrow, but soon. Sick? I have lied to Ray. I have never lied to Ray, not since the gas station and what happened after, and I know he will know I am lying. But what does he frown and say? Did the boys say with that? I shake my head. Stupid, Ray says, and I start to sink to the floor, ready to crawl and beg, anything. But then he says, Annabelle will thank us for getting her away from the people who don't take good care of her, won't she?